Many of my viewers have successfully cracked interviews and got jobs after watching my videos, and I believe you can also do the same. Hello friends, as you know, Java is the top language used for enterprise level big application and has the most jobs in market for backend. If you want to join the big MNC enterprise level companies, then Java is the right choice. Now to get the job and for cracking the interviews, today I am going to cover the top 10 Java interview questions for candidates having 2 to 3 years of experience in Java. You can also treat this video as a mock interview for your own practice. Just listen to the question, pause the video, think about your own answer, then listen to my answer and finally compare. Okay? Hey, my name is Happy and I help candidates in cracking Java interviews by posting Java career related and interview guidance related videos. If you don't want to miss those latest videos on Java, then hit the like and subscribe button. Now let's start with the first question. What are the different types of inheritance? When to use what? This is a very important question from interview point of view. So let's explore it quickly. The first type of inheritance is single inheritance, where you will be having one parent class and only one child class. Single. Okay. So here is the code. See, we have one parent one class and in the child one class we are extending the parent one class. Okay, this is normal type of inheritance which we already know. The next type of inheritance is multi-level inheritance, and here is the illustration where we have one parent one class, then one child, and after that we again have one child 2 class which is like a grandchild. Okay, and here is the code implementation. See, one parent one class, child 1 is extending parent 1 and child 2 is extending child 1. Okay, so like this. So that is how multi-level inheritance is. And here is very one important thing. Here this child 2 class which is like a grandchild will automatically get all the methods of the child 1. Yes, right? And even the parent 1 also. Okay, that is the important thing. So meaning child 2 class have no need to extend the parent 1 class separately. Okay, that is the thing. Now the third type of inheritance is hierarchical inheritance. And here is the illustration where we have one parent one class and which class is inherited in this multiple child classes, child 1, child 2, child 3, multiple can be. Okay, this is the most used and the most popular type of inheritance for reusability purpose. Alright, so here is the code. Here is the parent 1 class which is inherited both in the child 1 parent 1 and then child 2 also parent 1 only. Now see one function in parent 1 will be reused in multiple child classes. That is the benefit. After this we have one hybrid inheritance also, which is like the combination of multi-level and hierarchical inheritance only. Great, I think now you know the types of inheritance in Java. And yes, there is one more type of inheritance which we call multiple inheritance, not multiple level, multiple. But Java does not support multiple inheritance. Now why Java don't allow multiple inheritance? That we will cover in upcoming question. What is multiple inheritance? Does Java support it? Very interesting question. Here you can see the diagram of multiple inheritance. Here this child class trying to inheriting more than one base classes, parent classes. Okay, but this is not allowed in Java. A child class cannot extend or inherit more than one base class. Here is the code implementation of this same example. Two parent classes, parent class 1, parent class 2, and one child class which is trying to extend parent class 1 comma parent class 2, and this will, if you will try this code, then it will show you the compile time error. Okay, you cannot put here more than one classes. Second class is not allowed. Okay, now the question is, why does not Java support multiple inheritance? What is the problem with this approach? Okay, that we will check out in an upcoming question. Alright friends, before we hit the next question, if you have not yet accepted my never give up challenge, then accept it. Make a promise and commitment to yourself. No matter how tough it gets, no matter how many rejections you will face, but you will never give up until you crack the interview. That is also my own struggle story with interviews. Accept this challenge by writing never give up in the comment section right now. Trust me, the moment you write it, you will feel an instant boost of confidence and motivation towards your goal. What is polymorphism? Let me explain with an example. Suppose we have a calculator class like this, and inside it we have various functions like multiply, add, minus, right? Now if you notice, here we can have multiple add functions with the same name, but they are doing different things. One is adding two integers, just imagine the body, these are the parameters, okay? The second is adding two doubles, and the third add is adding three integer. So this is called multiple forms of a single and same name thing. So having multiple forms of the same name field or function is called polymorphism. Okay. Now you may ask one question, why should we keep their names same? We can have different names for them. So for example, this can be add two integers, this can be add two doubles, this can be add three integers. So then we don't need polymorphism, right? But then your code will be very bad looking and it will not be readable. Add four integers, so what kind of method name is this, right? Therefore we should not have different names for same kind of things, and for handling the same name function we have polymorphism. Okay, so here is the simplest definition of polymorphism. Polymorphism is the ability of a function to take multiple forms. Okay, multiple forms means the function name is same, but it can have multiple variations. Okay, body can be different. Now in the next question, which is very important from interview point of view, and that is the types of polymorphism which we are going to explore. What are the types of polymorphism? Very important question. If you remember, polymorphism means having multiple forms of the same name function like this, right? Now we have two types of polymorphism. The first one is the compile time polymorphism, and second is the runtime polymorphism. Okay, compile time polymorphism is again of two types: method overloading and operator overloading. Now here this example which I explained here, this is the example of the method overloading. Okay, this calculator class, single class, and inside we have multiple functions with same name, that is overloading method. Okay, and then we have the operator overloading, which means that operators like plus, minus, divide, they can also have the different forms, but that is possible in C++ operator overloading. In Java operator you cannot overload the operator. Okay, then inside the runtime polymorphism we have the method overriding as its type. Now here is one suggestion. Initially when I started my career, I was not aware of these compile time and runtime words. So I was just say that method overloading and method overriding are the types of polymorphism, and that is also like a 90% correct answer. But now I will cover all of these things, like what is compile time, what is run time, why method overloading is compile time, and what is static early binding and late binding. So that all I will cover in the upcoming questions. Okay. In how many ways can a method be overloaded? So here is the same code that I explained in method overloading, right? The first way of overloading the method is this. See, first and second method here names are same, but the data types of the parameters are different. This is the first way of overloading. Second is this. When the method names are same, but the number of parameters, it has 2 parameters and this method has 3 parameters. So this is the second way of overloading. Now the third way, the code is not here, but here it is. And see, the method name is same here, add, and the number of parameters are also same, 2 and 2. Type is also same, int is there and double is also there, but the order of the parameters are different. Okay, so great, that is the answer to this questions, the ways how we can overload a method. Hi friends, just a small notification here. This video is part of my full course, Top 350 Java Interview Questions, including topics like Spring, Spring Boot, MVC, REST Web Services, coding questions and many more. All questions PDF book link is also present below in the description. So like these candidates who cracked the interviews and got offers via this course, and if you don't want to miss anything for your interviews, then you can also try this course. Otherwise, no problem. Let's continue. What are the differences between an abstract class and an interface? At least 4 differences. Very important question, that's why 4. Okay, here I will show you the code side by side, then show you the difference one by one. On the left side, we have one interface with all abstract methods, and then we are implementing that interface down here. Okay, and then on the right side, we have the code of the abstract class with one concrete method courses and one abstract method, and then we are just extending that abstract class here. Alright, now let's see the differences between them. The simplest difference is interfaces are defined by using the interface keyword. Okay, whereas abstract classes are defined by using the abstract keyword. Don't miss this kind of simple differences. They are very easy to say, right? Second difference is that interface supports multiple inheritance. Yes, here you can put multiple interfaces, you can implement multiple interfaces. But abstract class does not support multiple inheritance. You cannot extend more than one base class, abstract class. Okay, so that is the difference. Next difference is in interfaces, methods are implicitly abstract. What does it mean is, here you do not have to write the abstract keyword in the interfaces. Okay, no keyword is required. Whereas in abstract classes, you have to use the abstract keyword to make a method abstract. Okay. Next difference is interfaces cannot have constructors, right? Whereas an abstract class can have the constructor. Yes, it is possible in abstract class. Now you may ask, when we can't create the object of the interfaces and abstract class, then why do we need constructors for abstract class? So that I will explain in upcoming questions in constructors maybe, but yes, I will explain. And the last difference is interfaces can have default methods and abstract class cannot have default methods. Again, default methods I will explain shortly in the upcoming question. Okay, great. These are the 5 or 6 differences I think, and in the next slide I have written all of them in the book. What is the similarity and then what are the 5 differences, and that will be then very easier for you to revise later. What are the types of constructor? What is a default constructor? See, there are mainly 3 types of constructor. First is default constructor, then parameterized constructor, and then copy constructor. Okay, that is one answer. Second is, what is default constructor? See, if you create a class like this, car class, blank car class, nothing inside that, and even if you are not writing any constructor code inside, okay, now listen carefully. When you run this program, then the JVM or just-in-time compiler at runtime will automatically create a blank constructor like this inside this car class. Okay, so this is the default constructor, we call it. So it is automatically created, that's why it is called default. Okay, so that is about default constructor, and here is the definition of default constructor. A default constructor in Java is a constructor which is automatically provided by Java if no other constructors are explicitly defined. Meaning, if you will define some constructor here by using this car, then Java will not create the constructor. It will find that okay, that it is already there, then it will not create the default constructor. Okay, so that is the answer to this question. Now in upcoming question we will see what is parameterized constructor. Okay, what is constructor overloading, when to use it in real applications? For this, I hope you already aware about the constructor and method overloading concepts and parameterized constructor also. Okay, and if not, then please refer to my previous questions. Now let's understand constructor overloading concept with the help of the code. Okay, suppose you have a rectangle class like this with 2 private fields. One is width and one is height. After that, here is one parameterized constructor because it have parameters. Alright, where we are assigning the values of the fields by the parameter. Okay, now after that, here is our main method, or in some other class we can create the object of the rectangle class something like this and pass the arguments 10 and 20, which will be received by the rectangle and the fields value will be set. Alright, then we will just calculate the area by rectangle dot width multiplied by rectangle dot height, and the output will be 200. Okay, so up until here you already know. Now we will start with the constructor overloading concept. So now what happens, the same constructor rectangle we can overload like this. Overload, you know, right, where we will change the parameters. Above the parameters are 2, here the parameter is only 1, but it's a constructor only. Now the requirement is we can use the rectangle class, we can enhance the ability of this rectangle class. Okay, how? Now we will use the rectangle class to calculate the area of the square also by using the constructor overloading. So for that we created this constructor, and now here we will pass just the side because the sides width and height of square are same, right? Now how we will use this? The same way, we will create the instance of the rectangle class square and we will pass just one side value which will be received here in the constructor, and finally we can multiply or calculate the area by square dot width into square dot height, and you will get the expected result if you will run the program. So the whole point is we can basically enhance the functionality of a class by using the constructor overloading. Okay, so earlier this class was only able to calculate the area of rectangle, but by now constructor overloading we can calculate the area of square also. All right, so now here I have pasted the whole code, and here is the very easy to remember definition. Constructor overloading is the concept of having multiple constructor within the same class, each with a different parameter list. And here is the use also. Constructor overloading enhances the usability of classes by providing multiple ways to initialize objects based on varying requirements and input parameters. Alright, that is the answer to this question. When should we use finally in real applications? Okay, so finally block I already explained, and here is the illustration of finally block. So if you are running your program or code, then if there is no exception, then what will happen? At the end of the try block, the execution will be transferred to the finally block. And here is the second scenario. If there is any error, then from the try block, the execution will go to the catch block and then to finally block. So that we already know, I hope. Now the question is, what kind of scenarios in the real application when we should put this finally block? And here is the answer. Finally block is mostly used for cleaning up the resources. Cleaning up resources, for example, if you want to close DB connections, or the closing input-output resources, or for logging purpose. So out of this, let me explain the closing DB connection, and rest are same. See, if you are opening and making some database connection at the beginning of the try block and to do some database operation, insertion something, then to make sure when your database operation is complete, then the connection must be closed at the end. You have to make sure that, okay? Now, otherwise what will happen if you will not close? Unnecessarily, connection will remain open and in the connection pool, and that will impact your application performance, right? So if you close the connection dot, if you write the connection dot close command at the end of the try block, then maybe some error will come in try block in between, in middle of code, and the execution will be transferred to the catch block. So your connection dot close command at the end of try block will not be executed and your connection will remain open. Therefore, write down the connection close command inside the finally block. Now whether error occur or not occur, your connection close command will be definitely executed by the finally block. And that is the explanation of the closing DB connections, and same is applicable for this input output resources and logging. Yes, whether error occur or not, if you want to log something, then put that thing in the finally block. So that is also an example. Okay, yes, so that's the answer to this question. What are list, queue and set interfaces collections? So what is the difference between them? Here is the diagram again, and this time we will focus on the interfaces list, queue and set only. Okay, so I will explain them by comparing them with each other. First of all, these three interfaces will follow the contracts or rules set by the collection and the iterable interface. That is the common thing between all of these three interfaces, list, queue and set. Okay, now let's understand the differences. See, list is an ordered collection, allowing duplicate elements or items inside it. Ordered collection means elements are stored in the collection in a sequential manner by indexes 0, 1, 2, bit similar to arrays, but it is more advanced. Okay, when I say list is doing that, that means all classes which are implementing it are actually doing it. Okay, so indexes, then yes, you can use the get method, index and method to access the elements, which I will definitely show in the upcoming question for array list also. Okay, so you can add also the duplicate elements here in the list interface with whatever class is implementing the list interface. Okay, so that is list, and the same thing is written here about the list, that order collection allowing duplicate elements and access collection based on the indexes. Okay, the second interface is this queue interface. So queue are like FIFO. FIFO stands for first in, first out, meaning when you add elements in a priority queue class or array queue class, the element which is first entering will must exit first. Okay, it's not like that you can exit the second element first. So that is the FIFO. So that is the purpose of FIFO, and we rarely use it. Means we use it when we need task scheduling kind of thing. Scheduling means you have scheduled 5 tasks and you want that their execution must be in FIFO, first in, first out. So that is one example, task scheduling for queue interfaces. Okay, and here is the queue details which I just explained. Use queue when you need to process elements in a specific order, FIFO order. Example, task scheduling, event handling. Okay, so that is queue. Last is set, and set is an ordered collection like list, but that does not allow duplicates. Okay, meaning you can use set when you need to store the unique elements in your collection, and the same thing is written here also. Great, that is the whole idea of the list, queue and set. And yes, here the most common and most used collection in real applications are list only. We mostly use list, and inside the list the most used one is array list. Okay, so now in the upcoming question we will explore the question about array list. Alright, congratulations for completing all the questions. If you have reached here, that means you have the courage and patience required for cracking the interviews. Just don't stop here and keep rolling until you get your goal. Okay, only one recommendation from my side. If you have not started yet, then start giving interviews. As I always said, interviews are the best form of learning. Interviews help you not just in learning, but if you are selected, the reward is very, very good. Okay, and if you are not selected, then remember, you will still lose nothing. Not giving interviews is even worse than facing rejections in interviews, because not attending the exam means the opportunity is gone. Companies will hire someone else, they will not wait for you. Okay, but if you are rejected in interview, then at least you will learn new things and next time you are more prepared, right? So start giving interviews and do accept my never give up challenge until you crack the interview. Okay, accept the challenge now by writing never give up in the comment section. Finally, all the best from my side, and I will support you in your career journey by posting the interviews, careers, and the job videos continuously. Join my interview cracking community by pressing the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much.